Hello parents, I'm Laura Mitchell, Superintendent for Cincinnati Public Schools, and I want to thank you for joining our 30-minute special today. Today you will learn about what to expect for this upcoming school year. Now you know that we're starting off our school year in distance learning, and we're going to analyze our data by September the 14th to see if we can actually open our doors at the end of the month. We're hoping to be able to do that. However, we do want you to know, although we're in distance learning, our schools are open and services will still be available at our locations. So please feel free to go to your school if you need assistance for anything. Last week, we had school-based orientation so that parents could learn very specifically about what their child needs to be able to do this school year. So hopefully you'll enjoy this special and it'll provide a lot of information for you.
Hello students, parents, and families of CPS. I'm Amy Scalia from Star 64, and I'll be your host for the next half an hour. As Superintendent Mitchell said, we are so excited to have you here today. We'll cover 4 main areas. First, we'll share what school in distance learning will look like for CPS. We've got you covered. Second, we'll give more details about our partnership with Cincinnati Bell and the Connect Our Students program. This is to ensure that all CPS families have access to the internet in their homes. Third, we'll share more about what we're doing to make sure school is as safe as possible for a potential return to in-person learning at the end of September. We've been working with Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center to ensure we have the best of the best safety protocols in place. And finally, we're so proud of everything our students have been doing to speak up and speak out about racism. And you'll meet one of our young leaders who's committed to making the world a better place today. In short, you're going to learn everything you need to know about the upcoming school year. The entire CPS family has been working hard since March to ensure that we're ready for all models of learning, in-person, distance, or a blended model. Since we're starting the year in distance learning, we want you to hear from our leadership team about the biggest components of our new school year.
Hello CPS families, and welcome to the new school year. I'm Laura Mitchell, Superintendent for Cincinnati Public Schools, and we are so excited to launch this school year. Now, we know that this is not going to be your typical opening, and we hope that we will never ever be in this situation again. But we're going to make a commitment to partner with you and keep a clear line of communication at all times. That will be the way that will help our students be successful. Now, we've learned a lot since our time last year in which we had to go to remote learning. And we also looked at the barriers that many of our kids faced. And we know that many of our kids did not have access to technology. So I'm very happy to say pre-K through 12th grade, all of our students will have access to their own devices that they'll be able to use all school year. In addition, we know that some families didn't have access to Wi-Fi. And so through a partnership with Cincinnati Bell, the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, and a whole host of other partners, we are able to offer free Wi-Fi to all of our households. So please make sure that you have access to our free Wi-Fi program. Now, all along the way, we're going to be using data to inform our decisions. So we're going to use data to inform academics. We're going to see where every child is to develop a customized plan for each student. We are also using data to keep everyone safe and healthy. So we use data to determine whether or not we're going to go to a blended model or to a distance learning model for this coming school year. So rest assured, we are using the data to inform our decisions, and you will be a part of all the information that we have to give out on a regular basis. So again, I just want to thank you for your flexibility. You have been wonderful. We appreciate you, and we look forward to the upcoming school year. Thank you.
We have been listening and learning from families and students about what the best practices are and what students need to be set up for success in the new year. If we heard anything, we heard that we needed one place to launch instruction. And in the 2020-2021 school year, we will be launching all of our instruction from Schoology. Schoology is designed so that you and your student can get weekly updates on key assignments, assessments, and information, as well as post and submit their assignments and assessments. PowerSchool is a place that will host the attendance and grades for your student. If your child is in high school, you can also find graduation progress. Every day, children will be asked to log into Schoology into each of their courses. This is essential because this is the way in which we will be taking attendance during our distance learning model.
Your student will pick up schedules so they can know who their teachers are and when to log into their scheduled Google Meets. One critical factor for academic success this school year will be in our intention to assess student learning for every student in every content area. One of the first things that will happen this school year will be your child's teacher determining the academic foundation that your student's success will need to be built upon. This means that they will determine the skills that your student has not mastered yet and then personalize instruction in order for your student to master grade level content. This means that we are personalizing learning for every student so they are able to access grade level content and master it.
Welcome back to CPS. We are so excited for distance learning this year. And as our superintendent said, we are removing obstacles. You can get your device and connectivity. You know why? Because we believe all students can be successful regardless of circumstance. And we are here to provide that support. I got a little key message for you. Remember School GPA. School stands for Schoology, where you can log on, get your lessons, communicate with your teachers. The G is for grades. Be proactive. Log on and find out where you stand, have conversations with your teacher, and that P is for Power School. Power School, you can find information out like your attendance, and that's where you go look for your grades. And the last, the A, is for attendance. The attendance that is needed for you to log on to your Google Meet sessions, build that community with your teachers and your fellow classmates, and we are so excited to have you back. Go CPS, let's get it.
Let's review the two most important tools students and parents will use, Schoology and PowerSchool. When you pick up your materials or during your virtual orientation, you'll receive login information for these two websites. You'll need to log in every day to Schoology for every class. This is where you'll find out what to focus on every week. All of your work will start here this year. You'll learn about assignments, discussions, and Google Meet schedules, and much more. You'll need to log into PowerSchool once a week to check your attendance and grades. High school students will use PowerSchool to keep track of their graduation progress. For a detailed look at how to use each of these tools, check out our website and click on the PowerSchool and Schoology videos. We understand this is a lot of information, but we've got you covered. The CPS website is always open. Visit the Back-to-School page at any time. This is where you'll find all the CPS resources you need, including FAQs, weekly updates from the superintendent, health clinic hours and services, and meal distribution information. Since school buildings shut down in March 2020 due to COVID-19, CPS's Student Dining Services Department has distributed over 300,000 grab-and-go meals to families. During distance learning, 5-day meal packs will be available for pickup at all schools each Wednesday from noon to 4 p.m. We encourage all families to complete the meal eligibility form online at schoolcafe.com or on the app. Do you know that CPS continues to grow? We'll open 2 new schools this academic year. Rising Stars at Mozart will serve families on the west side and is for up to 100 preschoolers. Lighthouse School in Madison is open to students by referral only who have complex behavioral needs. We're excited to continue to expand and serve the individual needs of even more Cincinnati families. Technology is arguably one of the most critical parts of a successful distance learning program. It's important that all students have access to a device and the internet. As a result, our ITM team has been working all summer to distribute devices to all 36,000 CPS students. Pre-K through 2nd grade will use take-home iPads, and older students will use laptops.
It's really important that every Cincinnati Public School student pick up a device. They may have a device that they use at home and they can access the internet and do things, but these devices are configured specific for Cincinnati Public Schools. They've got the software that students need, the links to the locations that they need to go to. It has software on there that will keep them secure. And in addition, this device will need to be brought to school with them because they're going to need to use this device at school.
I got my laptop and you need to get yours.
If you haven't picked up your device, it's not too late. Check the website or call your school to find out when to pick up your device. We're extremely fortunate to have partnered with many organizations to help bridge the gap of digital communication. Our friends at Cincinnati Bell, the Connect Our Students organization, the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, not to mention many generous donors, big and small, have been critical to ensuring that all CPS students have access to in-home Wi-Fi.
Hi, I'm Giovanni Bernard of the Cincinnati Bengals. On the field, I look for gaps in the defense that allow me to move ahead. However, gaps off the field hold us back. Do you know that over 46,000 children in our region do not have home internet? This means that 46,000 kids can't fully participate in remote learning at school, or easily find information their peers can access online. We have to do better, and you can help. The Greater Cincinnati Foundation, United Way of Greater Cincinnati, and Cincinnati Bell have collaborated to create the Connect Our Students program. The Bernard Family Foundation is proud to partner with these organizations to help provide free internet service to students in need. The reason why this is so dear to me is because I know how it felt to not have internet in elementary school and middle school, and I don't want any student to ever have to go through that. If you would like to join me in giving back to our community through this effort, please make a donation at www.connectourstudents.org. The Bernard Family Foundation will match donations for up to 25 families to receive internet for a year. And if you have a student in need, please contact Cincinnati Bell at 513-566-3895. Together, we can make a difference.
Do you have a CPS student in your home and still need Wi-Fi? It's not too late to sign up. Make sure CPS has your most updated contact information. You can do this by calling the school or our CPS customer service line at 513-363-0123. Most families will be able to self-install their Wi-Fi, no visit from an installer required. There are no credit checks, and the only criteria beyond needing Wi-Fi is to have a student enrolled in CPS. Want to sign up? Visit the CPS website to find out how to make sure your child has access to free Wi-Fi. Cincinnati Public Schools will start the first 5 weeks of school in distance learning. However, it's our hope that the community health data improves enough that we're able to announce the week of September 14th that it is safe to return to in-class learning. If we do so, we will utilize a blended model with A-B groups and students alternating 2 and 3 days per week, in-person and distance learning. We've been working with health experts as we look at this data from the City of Cincinnati and Hamilton County, as well as utilizing the expertise and advice of our partners at Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center. Whatever decision CPS makes will be in consultation with the best and smartest guidance out there. But we need our community to help. As Superintendent Mitchell has said, everyone has a role to play. Continue to wear masks, social distance, use proper hand hygiene, and avoid large gatherings. If we all do this, we all contribute to helping our kids return safely to in-person learning. And when it is safe to do so, Cincinnati Public Schools is ready. We are following all the CDC guidance. Earlier this summer, we hosted a workshop at South Avondale Elementary, where doctors, teachers, and staff members were able to talk about what it takes to get CPS on the right track for a safe return to school. Let's take a look.
We are talking about how to reopen schools safely. We are walking through a daily journey that a student would normally do at a school. We're very grateful for the partnership with Children's Hospital. We have a lot of overlapping goals, right? They want schools to open safely because they don't want the children in their facilities who are ill. So by combining forces, this really will be the safest opening possible.
Face it, some people are scared, and rightfully so. So that we can take the fear aspect out of things and we can take a good concrete look on what's going to be best for everyone involved, I think we can make a positive decision.
I really appreciate the way CPS is engaging families and youth in this process.
I like how I was able to be engaged with it and have my voice heard so that I could pitch in on how I think the classroom should be placed.
So when you're actually in the presence and you're actually moving desks, you're moving tables to see what are going to be some safe configurations, anticipating what some of the barriers are going to be hands-on, that's really where the keys are in terms of making the best informed decision for all parties involved.
One of our most trusted advisors is pediatrician Dr. Robert Kahn. During the State of Schools presentation, Dr. Kahn talked a little bit about our partnership for both the safe return to school and beyond. School is about more than instruction. It's also critical to students' social and emotional health. Listen to some of what he had to share.
What's coming out of this, though, is an ever-deepening set of partnership and a set of principles that I think we share, such as children and youth will forever be at the center of our work, that equity, and particularly racial equity, is foundational to achieving our shared goals, and that we focus on building relationships and trust as a way to sustainable results for the future. So a little bit about the partnership and why I'm here. I'll just briefly touch on COVID and how we've been working with CPS in that way. Really three elements. One is working with Hamilton County Public Health and Cincinnati Health Department to think about, of all the data and measures out there about COVID right now, what are 2 or 3 or 4 leading ones that can be milestones in informing your educational policies about remote or on-site learning. Second, it's about the science of COVID. What do we know about how it acts and what's necessary to prevent its spread? And third, it's not enough to know how it acts and how it might spread and how to stop it. But how do we reliably execute on those behaviors to prevent it every single day? And our senior leadership went out into the community. They went to South Avondale School. Actually, Principal Mike Allison showed them around South Avondale School. And when we asked parents what their hopes are, it's not, I don't want my child's diabetes to be out of control. It's quotes like, that they lead long, happy, and healthy lives to make the world a better place for all children, to feel loved and valued, to never stop learning, to use their talents and gifts in service to the world. And that all our kids should be free from the fear of feeling safe, lacking any hunger, and always knowing they have a caring caregiver. And so for our senior leadership at the hospital to hear aspirations of parents like those means, again, the only way we can achieve that is through partnerships.
When students make their journey back to in-class learning, it's going to look a lot different. We've put together this special video just for students to show them what their school day is going to look like.
It's time to go to school. You wake up feeling healthy, and that's great. Before you head off to the bus stop, make sure you have your backpack and a clean mask to wear for the day. Put your mask on so that it covers your nose and mouth. While you're waiting for the bus, stand apart from the other students. Make sure to fill the bus seats from back to front and sit facing forward. Please always sit by yourself unless you're with a sibling, and continue wearing your mask over your nose and mouth. When you arrive at your school, only exit the bus when you're dismissed. Exit the bus in a single file. You'll see other students waiting for their health checks. When it's your turn, an adult will take your temperature by scanning your forehead, and they'll ask you a few questions about how you're feeling.
How you doing today? How do you feel?
Now, you can pick up your breakfast and go to your classroom. While walking in the hallway, be sure to give plenty of space to other students so that we can all stay safe. When you arrive at your classroom, an adult will remind you that we all need to sanitize our hands before entering. Your chairs will be spread apart, and it's important for everyone's safety that you keep them that way. If anyone forgets, an adult will remind them to keep their distance. Remember to only use your own materials to do your schoolwork. You'll have to wear your mask at all times, unless an adult tells you that you can have a mask break. Before meals, you'll need to wash your hands for 20 seconds. You'll be eating meals in your classroom. Take your mask off and put it on a paper towel near you while you eat. Be careful to keep your own food in your assigned area. After you're done eating, put your mask back on. Remember to only touch the loops on the side when putting the mask on or taking it off. You may get to go to recess. You'll want to keep your friends safe, so only use the equipment that has been assigned to you. When talking or playing with your friends, make sure to keep your distance. At the end of the school day, your teacher will tell you when you can go to your locker. If you don't have a locker, you'll gather your belongings and wave goodbye to your teachers and friends before you head home. Please follow adults' directions as you leave the building. We can't wait to see you.
As Dr. Khan said, parents' dreams for their kids are big: to contribute, make a difference, and be happy. And CPS is committed to creating world leaders. This summer, CPS students proved that they're not just leaders of the future, they're leaders now. In the wake of the killing of George Floyd and the social unrest that followed, CPS students decided to take action. They created CPS Students Speak Up and Speak Out. In this forum, they've met with local community leaders, as well as school leadership, to help drive the change they want to see for themselves and their peers. Let's hear directly from the superintendent about what she had to say to the students at their first meeting.
We want our young people to demonstrate influence. We are hearing loudly and we are hearing clearly from you that you are tired of being patient and waiting for things to change. It is your responsibility to stand with us, to lead us, and to help make change happen.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Simone Simmons. I'm a 15-year-old and I'm an upcoming junior at Walnut Hills High School. I've recently become heavily involved in working with the key figures of our district on the topic of social injustice. This topic has always been very important to me, but I recently just started acting on my passion for it. For me, it started in May during the protests that were going on following George Floyd's death. I had asked my dad if we could attend the protests that were going on downtown, but because of COVID-19, he was concerned about my family's safety, so he wouldn't let me go. At that point, I had felt hopeless because I didn't think that there was anything I could do from my home to help contribute to the cause, until my dad presented me with the idea of writing a letter listing all of my concerns. So that night, I worked on a letter addressing my feelings about George Floyd's murder and all of the other victims we have lost to police brutality. I started and finished my letter the same night. I then sent it to Mrs. Laura Mitchell, our superintendent. She responded to my letter, and a few days later, I got an email from Mrs. Feltz inviting me to become a part of CPS Speak Up and Speak Out. We are a group of CPS students who have weekly planning sessions and monthly live stream sessions. We have had many guest speakers, such as our superintendent, the Cincinnati Police Chief, and our deputy superintendent, Ms. Tiana Amat. Just recently, we formed a list of demands addressing the changes we want to see not only in our district, but also in our city. Some of our ideas include a peer group to discuss the troubles that us Black students face in the school environment, and we want to create one in each high school. We will also want to run a student-ran public rally where all of our voices can be heard. We also want to promote more civic engagement from our fellow students, whether it be voting, attending more public rallies, or just tuning into one of our streamed sessions. Another demand that we have is to see more diversity amongst our staff. I've been going to Walnut since I was in the 7th grade, and I was a Lakota transfer, and I have never had a Black teacher. I feel that it is very important for us to have a diverse staff selection because we need someone we can relate to. Seeing someone who looks like you and can relate to your struggles can really change some of us students' outlook on school and create a more comfortable environment for us. We also want our history to be taught more than just the 28 days in the month of February. There are Black adults to this day with little to no knowledge of their history due to the lack of attention being brought to it in the classroom. And when we do learn about our history, we usually only learn about the bad part, which is slavery. Black history and history are one and the same. We are history and should be taught as such. We would also like to see more CPS interaction with the police department. It is important for us students to build a connection with our officers so that we feel at ease when we are around them. We would also like to see our officers go through a specific training on how to deal with our community and how to properly de-escalate situations so that the next police encounter that takes place doesn't end in another individual's death. What we ask from administrators and teachers is that you guys be receptive, open to hearing our concerns and actually acting on them. My mom is a principal for the district, and one thing that I really admire about her is that she is all about her students' welfare, and she has a relationship with all of her students. I feel that it is very important for teachers and principals to show themselves as approachable and to build a relationship with their student body. I also ask that you guys please read the board's new racism policy and try to abide by these rules. I don't want this to be something that is just forgotten about. I'm happy to announce that CPS Speak Up and Speak Out is meeting with Ms. Laura on the 20th to discuss how we are going to go about meeting our demands. Ms. Laura is also in the process of creating the Superintendent Student Council, which I myself have been invited to become a part of. I encourage all of my fellow students to get involved in any way that you can. Remember, together we can do this. Thank you.
Simone is one voice of many. Her and the other students' courage to stand up now and make a difference, to help us chart a better tomorrow, is something we can all learn from and look up to. And student activism isn't all CPS is doing to combat racism. The board is developing an anti-racism policy. The superintendent and administration are taking the students' demands seriously, looking at curriculum, how we work with the police, and we recently included more than 120 African American businesses in a partner summit. We've also convened 4 different advisory committees, one for staff, one for parents, one for community groups, as well as a superintendent student council. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We are grateful for all you continue to do. I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent Laura Mitchell to close us out, but before I go, remember everything you need for school can be found on the CPS Back-to-School website.
So parents, thank you so much for joining our special today. Hopefully you have learned a lot about what to expect for this upcoming school year. Just remember, we are CPS Strong and we are here to support you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your principal or to a teacher, or you can call our customer care line or visit our website. Again, thank you so much and have a wonderful school year.